Oh, hello and welcome. Welcome to Corner Football Fantasy, and of course, the first ever zonal weakness for season 24-25. And of course, tonight, it's none other than Bethany who joins me. Bethany, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you.
How are
It's
you
nice to be
doing?
back. Great, thank you. Yeah, it's really nice to have FPL back. I played Euros Fantasy, and even that feels like a long time ago. So although it was nice to have a break, it's also nice to be back. And I missed the zonal last week. Obviously, we had no data yet, so we couldn't have it, but it was weird making my decisions without it. So it's very nice to be back.
Yeah, to be honest, I did pretty good. So I would say my guesswork is better. But when it comes to
You did
predictability and looking at
very good.
stats,
Go on, share.
but
How well did you do, Dean?
no, I just got 91. It's okay. I don't want to brag about it. It's just gimmick. It's just 91. Yeah, it's okay. It's a gimmick one. Huh? Hold your horses. It's just gimmick one. But to be honest, I think my game will start to go bad because there will be too many numbers, and then I'll have to decide. And when it comes to that, I think I'll take the wrong decisions. How did your game go?
It went okay. It was higher than average, so it was okay. But yeah, 62, I think, something like that. So just above average. But I didn't have Salah. I captained Isaac, and for some stupid reason, I decided that it was better to go with money in the bank. So I had like 4 million in the bank, so that I could go to any of the premiums. So I could go to Palmer, Saka, or Foden in week 2. And so I started with Rice instead of Saka, and that, yeah. So I've made the move already. I've already brought Saka in for this week, and I should have just started with him and saved a transfer. But anyway, yeah, could have gone worse. I had Wood, who was really nice, and I had a really frustrating Leno in goal who lost his clean sheet at 88th minute. So that was frustrating. But anyway, yeah, it was okay. Could have gone better, could have gone worse.
Yeah. Yeah, while you're holidaying in Wales, I think it was in Wales, right? Going through some what you call it, some forts, and it's beautiful. But yeah, and you still managed to get 65 or something like that. But anyway, thank God at least you started. You had a team, and you didn't forget about it.
Yeah, I was up a mountain. I was up Snowdon at the start of the at the deadline, so there was no changing anything close to the deadline. So if I'd been down, maybe I might have done something last minute, but who knows how that would have gone. So yeah, we move on.
Yeah, we move on. But anyway, this is the first zonal weakness of season 24-25 for game week 2. And of course, before we get started, just a shout out to all of you. Please do give us a follow, a like, and subscribe to our YouTube and of course Facebook and Twitter channels if you haven't, so because that's where we are producing the zonal weakness, but also sharing a lot of stats. At least we have the intention, I would call it, to do a lot more on Twitter, but also on Facebook. So please do subscribe. Hope we will not be able to disappoint you. But all the stats that you see, including the zonal stats, are taken from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. If you haven't subscribed to the membership, there is a 40% discount currently ongoing. So click on the link in the description below and you will get your 40% discount. I think it's pretty important because, as Bethany said, glad to have the stats back and the numbers back to make the decision, or a sort of like predictable decisions, well-informed decisions, I would rather call it. Yeah. So yeah, if you're not a member of Fantasy Football Scout, please do sign up now and get your 40% discount for the whole year. Right, moving on. So here is the table, and this is the first table. So it's nice, and we haven't changed the format. I was thinking of doing a lot of reshuffle, and how do we present it better? But I think sometimes simplicity is best. And since FPL hasn't changed their actual format, despite the game starting 20 or 24 years ago. So yeah, we thought why are we planning to change something that has worked so well? So here is the table. Bethany, over to you. What do you think?
Yeah, it's looking nice for my team at least. So yeah, it's nice to see Haaland there. Obviously, I went Haaland over Salah, so it's nice to see Haaland there, ranked second for chances conceded down centre versus Ipswich. Obviously, just to say, this is only obviously 1 week of data at the moment, so we've got to take it with a pinch of salt, but that looks nice. Obviously, those people who haven't gone Haaland and maybe have gone for a punt on KDB or Foden instead, They're looking quite nice too. Chelsea, quite a few people had Palmer in for game week 1, and obviously blanked against a tough game in City. But he looks chances look good for down the left flank for him. 𝐿𝐴Nkunku obviously got taken off early last game, so he's one to watch out for. But if you've got him, I think he's a hold. I wouldn't be buying him now, but I think if you've got him, you give him 1 week more week. Looks a decent shout this week. With that right flank chances conceded down that flank. Then we've got Spurs, and it's interesting there. So obviously the one standing out for Spurs against Everton are Son and Maddison. I watched this game, and Maddison looked back to his old self. He was really involved in the game, so I think he could do well again this week. Son was very quiet, so maybe the chances conceded down the right flank will do well for him. But yeah, again, I wouldn't be buying him this week. But if you've already got him, great. Porro obviously, unfortunately, doesn't look great down his flank for attacking returns, but I think against Everton, hopefully we'll get a clean sheet anyway, those of us who've got Porro.
He's back in the training, by the way.
Pardon? What did you say?
He's back in the training.
Yes, I saw that as well. I was very pleased because I didn't really want to take a hit to have to get rid of him. So that's really good. Yeah, 𝐙𝐴, I think a lot of people went with him and were disappointed not to have got anything. He should have got a return, at least one, and didn't. So I think he's a really good shout this week, either if you already own him or if you wanted to make a change already. I think 𝐙𝐴's a great one going forward. And then we've got Newcastle, who obviously didn't do so well last week. We got 1 assist from Isaac and nothing from anybody else particularly. Yeah, they're definitely ones to watch because even before the red card, they weren't looking particularly great. So I think, yeah, see how this week goes. Hopefully a lot better with 11 men on the pitch all the time. But it's nice to see both Isaac, Gordon and Hall, as I own all 3, to be showing up well on the zonal weakness this week. And then we've got Liverpool versus Brentford. And as someone who went for Diaz and didn't get anything last week, I went for the Diaz-Jota double up. And Diaz had quite a few chances and things, so he could have got a return last week and didn't. So it's nice to see him ranked first this week. Sadly, not great for the rest of the Liverpool team, though. So, yeah, maybe not great if you wanted to like double or triple up on the attack this week.
Yeah, just a bit of a caution before people get too hopeful about what they're looking at, to be honest. It's just a single game week data, so the reliability is still a question mark, to be honest. So, yeah, just take it with a pinch of salt, as Bethany has already mentioned, because it's just a single game week data. But, yeah, there is still hope, and it's not looking all doom and gloom, right? So, anyway, let's move to the next one. And here's the second table.
Yeah, starting with Fulham, it's looking nice with a few of their assets appearing in this table with Muniz, Pereira, Traore. I really like Muniz as an option. I know he didn't return last week, and I had him in my team for quite a lot of the early season, and then I brought in Smith Rowe and swapped out Muniz. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think Muniz is a great option this week and going forward, as is Pereira, I think. So yeah, nice options there for Fulham. Man United, again, Bruno, like you said, was unlucky last week, but he's not looking great from this table. Here, chances conceded down centre 0 for Brighton. Brighton did really well last week. Interestingly, Garnacho is on there, so he obviously got benched last week, which was not a great start for owners who'd gone for him on a bit of a punt, but then he came on and got the assist. So yeah, I think Garnacho could be a nice shout this week. Obviously, not highly owned and not particularly expensive, but just need to watch out whether he's going to get benched again. Brighton, Mitoma seems to be back to that form from a year or two back when we all had him, which is really nice to see. Hopefully we'll have some more Brighton assets this year because we didn't really have them last year at all. So yeah, Mitoma, if you went for him, well done. And if not, I probably wouldn't be rushing this week just because I'd like to see that consistency a bit more, but I like the look of him. Yeah, interesting. True. Bournemouth, obviously, looking like they've got nice numbers here against Newcastle, but just be aware that those Newcastle data is from a game where they ended up with 10 men. So again, got to take it with a pinch of salt. But if you've got any of the Bournemouth assets like 𝐷𝐚𝐤, obviously playing out of position at the moment with 𝐸 gone, he could be a great shout, I think. 𝐸𝐚𝐤, ranked third for left flank chances conceded, ranked fifth for headers conceded, and first for left flank crosses conceded. So yeah, I think he could be nice this week. West Ham, if you went for Bowen as a differential, keep him. This data for Crystal Palace looks all right for him this week, ranked fifth. But otherwise, I'd probably not be going for any others. Although 𝐸 had, I think, the highest chances or something similar, highest chances on goal last week, I think. And he is ranked only sixth, just outside of the window that we'd normally spot. So yeah, keep an eye on 𝐸. He was one of my punts a few years ago for a few weeks. He went off on one, was scoring goals every week. So maybe he could come back to that, and that would be great as well. Another option. So 𝐸 at sixth for crosses conceded down the left flank is quite nice to keep an eye on. Then we've got Arsenal, and again, I only went for Rice out of all of the Arsenal assets, which was a really stupid decision, and came back to bite me last week. So I think, yeah, going for double or triple Arsenal against any team, I think they can do well. Havertz definitely so cheap up front. And then nice to see Saka, who I've brought in this week, ranked fourth for chances conceded down the left flank. So both of those, I think, could be good options this week and going forward. And then, interestingly, obviously, Aston Villa are playing against Arsenal, who are just such a tough team. So none of their assets standing out. I think some people started the season with Watkins and spread the money a bit more instead of going for Haaland. But I think if you haven't already got him, I'd be waiting until next week before I brought in Watkins or any other Villa players.
Well, yeah, so that covers up the table, to be honest. So let's go and see how the first team of the week for this season looks like. So here it is. Anything that stands out, Bethany?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Haaland. I think if you've not gone Haaland and you went for Salah and then spreading the money about, I think you've got to be feeling a little bit scared this week going without him against Ipswich. I know some people are thinking about triple captaining him. I'm not planning on doing that.
Yeah.
But I think I'd be scared not to own him or be able to captain him this week. So I think, yeah, Haaland definitely great shout. I really like 𝐙𝐵. I like Diaz as a differential. I think he's not very highly owned, but I think he could do. He looked good last week, even though he didn't actually put away the chances or get the assists. But he had options to have got points. And obviously the data this week suggests he could do well. So I like him as a differential. And nice to see Palmer come back. I think he's the only Chelsea player I'd be going for right now. I know Gusto's on this team as well, but I think, yeah, Palmer's the only one I trust at the moment. The team is so volatile. They've got so many new players bought in again, as per usual with Chelsea. But we know Palmer can do amazing things even when the rest of the team doesn't look great. So, yeah, I like Palmer. Robertson obviously looked great on the Zonal too. And yeah, Hall, chances of clean sheets, chances of assists. I like him too. Yeah, no, it's looking good.
Right. So there's another game. It's called Fantasy Challenge, which we kind of completely ignore, but some people do play it. So yeah, we'll bring that as well. So here's the Fantasy Challenge for Game Week 2. It's all out attack, and this is the team that we have selected based on the zonal weakness, in case you're playing, because it's not something that you have to keep up every week. It's just that you can keep making your own team. So the zonal is very useful when it comes to this particular team. So yeah, take us through this one, Beth.
Yeah, I think it's just good to point out, because I made my Fantasy Challenge Game Week 2 team a day or two ago, and I put Haaland in because obviously we know he's got a great fixture, and then couldn't afford it. So it's not unlimited budget. There is a budget to try and force you into making different decisions. So it's highly unlikely you'd be able to go for Haaland this week. without then being forced into 4.5s everywhere else. But yeah, I really like it. I think it's different to last season. I think they've got the hang of the challenge bit of it better. Like they are quirkier challenges that make it more interesting, like this one that's all out attack, where you've got a goalkeeper, no midfielders, no defenders, all forwards. And yeah, I think all of these could do well. It was really nice to see Mateta start last week, even though he's been playing them at the Olympics. He's done really well at the Olympics, did really well end of last season. And yeah, I think he could do really well. Isaac, again, I'm hoping now that they've got a one game under their belts, and with 11 men hopefully staying on the pitch, I think Isaac could do really well this week. Solanke was unlucky last week. He definitely had chances, just didn't manage to put them away, and Everton looked awful. I think they're really missing Branthwaite at the back, that solidity. So yeah, I think Everton might be one to get at in the next few weeks. So yeah, I think Solanke could do really well. And again, we've already talked about Muniz, really nice option and a great game against Leicester at home. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're nearly end. Yes, we are. So yeah, thanks so much, Bethany. I think we kind of did well, let's say, for the first week, and hope things really go well, just like last season. But it's good to see you, and it's good that FPL is back, and of course we're glad that Zonal that it's available again. But yeah, we'll see you next week with someone new. But until then, thank you so much for joining, and of course Bethany will be back again joining us. But till then, take care. Bye bye.